Today's broadcast is a copyrighted presentation of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated. Any rebroadcast, retransmission, or any other use of this event without the expressed written consent of the New York Racing Association, Incorporated is strictly prohibited.
Good morning, everyone. Excuse me. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to Talking Horses on opening day at the Big A, an extra special opening day here at the Big A. I'm Andy Serling, by the way. The Big A, Anthony Stabile, is to my left. We've got a lot going on today. First and foremost, that mandatory payout in the Pick 6. We had to cancel Sunday at Belmont, so that carried over to opening day today. $279,432 in that mandatory payout in the Empire 6. That'll kick off in race number 5. We'll discuss those races. Anthony will be tweeting out a ticket, I believe, a little bit later, as will Naira and nairabets. Also, want to remind people, the Breeders' Cup. In case you don't know, today is day 1 of the Breeders' Cup. And that action begins, what time, Anthony, is it?
Right around 4:12, I believe.
4:12, I believe, the first race. 5 races today for the juveniles. Anthony will share some opinions on those. As well, a kind of convoluted thing here. If you sign up bonus, we'll match up to $200 of your money you bet. If you're a new customer, promo code is BC19, but a new twist, also a $25 risk-free bet on either the Breeders' Cup Classic or the Breeders' Cup Juvenile, which is today. 4 million, point hit and split on the early Pick 4 Saturday and Friday. Is that races 2 through 5?
Yeah, we'll have a ticket for that
2 through 5?
Yes, sir.
So that'll go into the first Breeders' Cup race today, I believe, is race number 5, Juvenile Turf Sprint. That's today. Anthony will have a ticket for that. Also, throughout the weekend, a 10% winner's bonus on all tries. This is all through nairabets on the sprint races throughout the card, but also, more importantly, we've got that $279,000 carryover in the Pick 6 today, and we'll talk about those races in a minute. You're the Big A, Anthony Stabile, you ready?
Happy opening day, pal. I know it's Breeders' Cup too, but it's opening day at the Big A. We get to hunker down for the next 6 months, 5.5, 6 months.
I've missed very few opening days at the Big A. I used to love coming out, usually open on a Wednesday in the Discovery.
Yeah, sure.
The feature was the opening day, the traditional opening day feature here, and I would take the train out from work and come here, and just love the idea of being able to take a subway right to the racetrack.
It's the best. I was always, when I was a kid, my dad would bring me over, obviously, and bring me back from grammar school, from elementary school, and then as I got older in high school, right down the road, 3/8 of a mile, John Adams High School, go Spartans, would just come over we'd get out of school 1:38, would get over here in about 15 minutes or so and be ready to roll for the last 3 or 4. This is way before the Pick 4 days, so 25 years ago.
2
in
Pick
high
5,
school.
2 Pick 3. Races 2 through 4 and 5 through 7.
And then it went to 6 through 8, yeah.
I'm wondering if Jose, our tremendous TD, has a shot of the racetrack. Track is listed as muddy. We are off the turf. I'm wondering if it is sealed. It's harrowed, and Anthony and I were talking about this because Anthony's obsessing over wet tracks, and I find it to be ridiculous. You still think this track's going to be muddy by the 7th race today, Anthony?
No, it looks good. Good
it's
shot.
windy out.
It's nice out. Look at the old girl.
I love the Big A. I love getting off that subway. Yesterday, I came out yesterday, taped those video previews. If you haven't had a chance to take a look, you should be a member of the Naira YouTube page. It's a lot of good stuff on that, but taped 14 previews yesterday, all 14 Breeders' Cup races. They are available on the Naira YouTube page. I tweeted them out. Naira did as well. Head on over there. But Anthony, let's quickly talk some Breeders' Cup before we get into today's card. Any major opinions today?
I think this matchup between Dennis's Moment and 8 Rings is not much of a matchup. I think Dennis's Moment is going to handle him pretty easily. Dale Romans appears to have a real good one on his hands, and he's had some good ones in the past, but I think this horse has separated himself from any of the juveniles he's had prior to him. A big win at Ellis
Not
Park.
this time was pretty good.
Yeah, he was for the same connections.
This horse runs as well as not this time, but in the Breeders' Cup,
he's going to win by a long ways. And of course, that race marked by the scratch of Maxfield, who's out with a bruised foot.
You're disregarding 8 Rings a little bit, I think.
Well,
I mean, you're acting as though he's going to flick him off like a gnat. I think that's a little.
That's
bit
what
much.
I truly believe he will. That it remains to be seen if it happens. We'll see if it does. But you asked me for the big opinion. That's the one. I mean, I'll probably use both of them on one ticket just because I think you can get through the race.
You don't think Scabbard has a chance in there?
I don't know. You know, I know a lot of people think that Scabbard didn't have the best break last time, and he made the big move into him.
No.
I think
What Scabbard did was get into trouble on the turn, and get
too.
significantly shut off and shuffled. Don't turn to me.
Yeah.
And got shuffled and turned, and he actually ran very well. Now, I'm not saying he was beating Dennis's moment.
Yeah, I don't think it's
but
going
I'm
to
not.
matter. I don't think it's going to matter.
It's horse racing. So
Yeah,
I think
guess
you
it is.
completely disregard the competition when you have horses as good as 8 Rings and Scabbard to Dennis Moment, who I also think is the horse to beat, but I think you're discarding them a little bit too readily.
I think he's a special talent. We'll see what happens. I think Wicked Whisper has a chance in the juvenile fillies. I put her on top. Wesley Ward will probably dominate the juvenile turf sprint. He's got 3 live ones in there.
ALE's okay, though.
Yeah, ALE could be okay.
ALE's
Sure. I like Structor.
Antonio's leaving, by the way, if you want
I don't blame him. He was at Breeders' Cup Bash. He doesn't need to hear my picks. I like
Free meal?
Yeah. What do you think?
Listen to worry. Probably sleeping at the bar.
Exactly. I like Structor, and I like Cristal in the juvenile.
You like Structor, aren't you supposed to like other horses from the race? What about the horse I took, Our
Yeah,
Country? I mean,
no
that horse
question.
can be a big price.
I like the Pilgrim. I like the Pilgrim. Yeah, I like the horse.
Arizona, you know, you're not somebody who's doing a lot of work on the Euros, and I think it's going to hurt you in the Breeders' Cups a little bit. Arizona's a real talent. He did not draw well in post number 12, but he's not a horse that you want to dismiss readily. Arizona's good.
2 of the Euro opinions that I do appreciate and do trust don't really seem thrilled with the contingent coming over. I know, especially in the juveniles.
Arizona's got a lot of...
especially the juveniles on the turf.
The males, they've
dominated 9 of
O'Brien's
11.
done very well in those
9 of
races,
11,
right,
yeah.
so.
And the other way around with the juvenile fillies going along on the turf.
Because Chad Brown has dominated them.
Yeah.
Was last year's winner an American horse or a European horse? I mean,
Chad,
the funny thing
Chad
about
won the last 3,
I
right?
understand. But the funny thing about newspaper record was
Yeah.
if Chad Brown hadn't gone over to Tattersall, she would have been a European running in there. It's just sort of interesting. Anyway,
guess.
be interesting what happens tomorrow. Because you won't be here tomorrow. Anthony's heading out of town. He's got a limo waiting with a half a can of Coke and Betty White in the limo.
There's no Coke. There's no Betty White. We're going to Mohegan Sun to spend in the Uncle's Ballroom. I like. I'm singling Sister Charlie and I'm singling Bricks and Mortar. If they go down, I'm going down with them in the multi-race wagers. I'm stealing a little of Andy's thunder. I'm going to make 2 exactas with Sister Charlie. I'm going to use Mississippi, who was second to her in the Flower Bowl, and I'm going to use Fannie Logan, one of the Euros that my man Max from the International Racing Bureau actually does like. So those are the 2 I'll make in there.
And I like as well.
And as I said, I'm going to steal a little of your thunder. You got to go watch those YouTube videos. Andy does a tremendous. Everybody here does a tremendous job. They're really, really good. They're informative, as you would imagine, with this knucklehead getting them done and putting all the work in that he does.
Justin was the glue hole.
Who do we like in the Classic? I'm using 5 horses in the Classic. I picked Yoshida because I'm a degenerate when it comes to Belmont, but I actually think that the 1.25 miles, and I know he's 0 for 2 at the distance, but I think the 1.25 miles is going to help him more than it's going to hurt some of the others, and I think it's going to help him.
I don't think he's impossible. I thought it was a very strange race. You can watch my videos for my picks, and Maggie will be on with me tomorrow. We'll talk some more Breeders'
I also
Cup.
like Chancelot. I like Chancelot in the sprint.
I think he has a good chance to win as well. I like him and Matoli in there. I'm going to try to beat Imperial Hint.
Me too.
Today's card, race number 1, the horse that figures to be a heavy favorite in race number 1 by post time. Pay no attention to the odds behind the curtain right now, as they will change dramatically by post time. The 5, Cheatham Hill, is likely to be favored. We'll take a look at Cheatham Hills. Do I have Cheatham Hills last race? Cheatham Hills last race on September 29th, finishing 3rd, beaten 2 lengths to Bank Examiner and Mary's Girl. Jeremiah Englehart quickly scratched Bank Examiner when he saw that Anthony picked her on Sunday's canceled card, and I had to admonish him for that horrible selection. And Mary's Girl was second, came back with a good second place finish, or second or third or next start.
She was
second, I think.
Mary was second again. Yeah, the Collegeville girl came up the inside and got her beaten. Here's the stat.
On Jason Service's dead rail. On the infamous Jason Service
Jason
dead
Service
rail.
dead rail
The
for,
gold dead
maximum
rail.
security.
The golden dead rail that we had on Saturday at Belmont.
That was great. Maggie's look when he said that the hoe was
Well, even
sensational.
I think Maggie even tried to tell him. Somebody had obviously given him ridiculous information.
Yes.
Yeah, that was funny.
I mean, this horse is very logical. This horse is going to be a huge favorite.
Maggie's look on him was, oh, God, I'm going to have to hear from Andy now.
Oh, my God, yeah. She was scared. I don't know. You really like that? No, this horse can win. I guess horse going to be 3 to 5 when all said and done, 4 to 5. Because like you said, forget about
Yeah,
the
I have a
odds
stat.
right now.
You showed, we showed the stat.
We showed the stat. I mean,
Yeah, I mean,
don't
allowance
know
to
about this
claiming,
horse
the
with that
numbers aren't
style.
that good. And I don't know. This is a funny horse, Cheatham Hill. What's interesting about him, he's a rare Jaded Service horse. It's been a big price in most of his races.
She's
And
been
now,
favored just one
I
time
don't
in her
know
career.
if the horse is going to be 4 to 5 as David made her on the line. It seemed a little bit aggressive to me. But she does have figures that make her the horse to beat in here. Okay, what am I missing with 8 Oaks?
I'm just taking a little bit of a shot that
Because you'll be out of town and you
that
don't
she's
have anybody to
gonna
throw
get-
tomatoes
that
at you
she's
and the
gonna
horse
get
runs last.
back, that she's going to get back to the race that she ran on the wet track.
Oh, a wet track, a muddy sealed
it.
track. And today she's running on a good Harrow
That's
track.
it. I'm just, listen, she appreciated some moisture in the track. It was a long time
she was
ago.
4 to 5.
I just
Silly
wanted to
field.
pick against
Silly
the
wet track,
I just wanted to
dress-up
pick against the
race.
favorite.
What's wrong with chilling with friends? You don't have chilling with friends, 1, 2, 3, 4.
I don't like chilling with friends.
Okay, exactly why?
What am I supposed to like about chilling with
Okay,
friends? You
how
wanna
many
bet-
lunches? Where
you wanna
were we
bet-
at
I
lunch?
don't
We were at
remember, 'cause
38.
everything got goofy
You were
last
at
week.
38, you won 3, so we're
I
at
thought
35.
it was an even number. I want to say I won 4.
No, because I won 3 and you
And I
won
won
6.
7.
It's 2. You're right. It was no, you didn't win 7. You lost 1. 320 was 320 was the number. You had to be below it. You lost 4 and you won 6. It's 2. It's 36. Thank you. So how many lunches do you want to bet that Chilling with Friends beats 8 Oaks?
I want 3 to 2.
Okay. 6 to 4.
Yeah, that's fine.
6 over 4. Okay, as far as actual handicapping goes, when you talk about a horse like Chilling with Friends, you've got a horse that's dropping considerably, that is cutting back in distance. You know, I love a turn back.
So she's
You've
dropping
got a horse.
considerably with 8 Oaks, is it?
8 Oaks isn't competitive in her races. She's never not running figures. She's got one phonied up off the turf, muddy sealed track figure. She's running 3 scheduled dirt races, one of them at Finger Lakes, and she's been betting all of them, and she's done absolutely no running whatsoever. There is absolutely nothing I can find to like about this horse. If you like her, that's fine. I'm wrong a lot, and you're wrong a lot.
Yeah.
It happens. I don't get 8 Oaks at all in this race, and I don't know how you have 4 of the 7, and you don't have the number 6, Chilling with Friends, in the mix a little bit. I mean, this horse has been running against Danny California, against Boys at Saratoga, at 1 8 sloppy sealed track. The last time this horse was in a race where she had a chance, she buried a field maiden 25s. I don't love her in here. I think, like the morning line, she's the most likely alternative to Cheatham Hill. Doesn't mean she's going to win. 8 Oaks, to me, is just an absolute stab based on a race that, in my opinion, is completely irrelevant to today's
Okay.
race.
Fair enough.
Anything else?
No? I don't
Smoking
think so.
Princess, Shanghai
I mean,
Bonnie?
yeah, I guess. but-
Okay. Race number 2, we are off the turf in race number 2. Don't believe we have any videos. What did you do? You got the 14 Stunning Munnings on top.
Yes, went to Stunning
Horse to
Munnings.
beat.
Say again?
Horse to beat.
Yeah, horse to beat. Blinkers go back on after they took them off last time. First off the Dave Duggan train. Claim we'll see if Mr. Carroll can get his first win here.
Is this Richie's Riders on this horse?
Yep. Back from the having to take off Saturday after a training incident, and then took off Sunday, but really didn't take off Sunday.
Yeah, I prefer the horse that you've left off, the 10 Kit Kat Katie, and I think if you start taking Kit Kat Katie apart, she sort of looks a little bit better. And she ran well in her debut on the turf, and then it was an incident in her second start. Not sure why they ran. I mean, guys, she's an Ontario bred. They took a shot she'd like synthetic. She did not in her last start. But I thought her off-the-turf maiden race was actually not that bad, all things considered, and she ran fast enough that she was a reasonable alternative. She's not going to be a great price in this race. I think she'll be a little bit better priced than Stunning Munnings, and Stunning Munnings can win this race, but I don't know. I mean, what was so special about her last race? It just feels like she just sort of ran okay in there. Claimed by David Duggan might help, but she's coming from Leslie Ward. It's not as though she's was in a barn that didn't win, and she's failed repeatedly at short prices, both in New York and out of town.
No, listen, I don't disagree with anything you said about her. These off-the-turf races, especially at the bottom level of the claiming ranks, they get a little sketchy, and I just went with a filly who has some speed and going to get the weight off and has the outside
Is
draw.
Heeman Harkey still riding the number 13 winning Melody in here? I assume still on, but we don't really have the changes that much. It was tough getting them. Jimmy Jerkin's barn, a little chilly for what it's worth. I don't believe Jimmy's won a race since the Woodward. Not a bad race to be his last winner, but hasn't won a race in over 2 months. The number 6, Big Red Girl, interests me a little bit in this race for Charlie Baker. This horse took some money first time out and was chasing 3 wide. That was a day that you really wanted to be inside. The race was wired and a relatively quick pace, all things considered, and she chased that fast pace, took some money in there, thought she's in a much easier spot. Actually flirted with picking her on top. I'll definitely be using her. Jen's Battle may take some money as Gary Contessa on a really bad run. He's 0 for his last 94. He has not won a race since Another Miracle won a race at Saratoga, the stake race, I think the Skidmore.
Skidmore.
He's 0 for 94 with just 4 second-place finishes, and that's, I think, both in New York and out of town.
Yeah, he'll be running in the Good Luck to Another Miracle. All of them, but really the New York horse, Another Miracle, going to try that juvenile turf sprint to kick off the Breeders' Cup today.
Yeah, Wesley Ward looks tough in that race, as you said. Race number 3. Race number 3. We'll start with your top choice, Prairie Fire. And I was surprised David didn't have this horse the morning line favorite, because I disagree. Obviously, I picked the horse he made the favorite, but I thought that Prairie Fire would be the favorite near. Now, she is beating some hungry fields, but she did stumble after the break in her last race and didn't cost her an incredible amount. And she's not exactly a speed horse, so frankly, she wasn't that far out of position. But I think it is important to note that this was actually a relatively significant stumble. We'll see her go. And she sort of, no, I mean, when I say, well, it wasn't that significant a stumble. I misspoke. She kind of went a little to her knees. And the truth was, I don't think it hurt her that much. And at the end of the day, I just think she beat an absolutely awful field. I didn't like her today.
Yeah,
I put her third, but I'm not a big fan.
With horses with her running style, the stumble at the start's it doesn't affect them as much as it would with horses with a little more speed.
Well, especially if it's not a significant stumble, where it doesn't hit her face or doesn't go down really hard.
Right. I don't know. She still made up some ground that day and ran by these. Listen, I'm not going to argue about the quality of that field, but I mean, do you really think she's stepping up and facing much better? You think it's a much better bunch?
Compared to what she beat last time? By far, absolutely. I like the Kelly Breen horses. Thought they've run well at Aqueduct. I actually found some stats. Did I put a stat up for this horse? I have a stat for Heaven's Humor in here for what it's worth. First off, the claim on the dirt. The numbers are solid. The ROI hovers around $2. The percentage is good. This is a barn that was very good. Last year at Aqueduct, they were 10 for 43. Last 3 years at Aqueduct, the Kelly Breen barn has been 19 for 81, 23% with a 223 ROI. And positive ROI, actually, for this barn through 4 years. So they've been a barn, and we've talked about this in the past, that's come here with a purpose. And they claimed this horse and laid her up for a while. I don't love the layoff, but maybe they just thought, let's get a horse ready for the winter. Maybe part of it was thinking, we did run well in the winter in the past in Aqueduct. It's been a good hunting ground for this barn. We talked about it a lot last year. When they ran their horses, they were ready to roll, and I'm going to trust in this barn. Yeah,
she didn't debut until Halloween of her 3-year-old year. You see a 4-month break prior to this 4-month break now.
Scary.
I'm sorry. So, you know, she's run 7.
She's a faster horse than the favorite.
But the breaks bother me, and the fact that her first 2 races at Gulfstream Park West a year ago are light years better than anything until that try in the slop last time, they bug me. They bug me. And now you don't see her again.
One of them was on the turf.
Months.
One of them was going a mile. The other one was an allowance race against Breaking Bread, who she couldn't beat without a rocket pack on her back. So
I don't love those Gulfstream Park West races.
Okay, we disagree here.
Yeah. She can win.
The number 6, Promise Me Roses. We'll take a look at her last race. You don't have her anywhere. You have Tequila Sunday, who finished behind her, beaten almost 2 lengths. What is your big problem with Promise Me Roses here?
The last 2 starts at the sprints are fine. I just feel like she's too inconsistent now. Tequila Sunday,
you just said her last 2 sprint starts are good.
They're fine. They're fine, but she's a little too inconsistent overall for me. And Tequila Sunday is going to be 3 times the price as her.
Yeah, I don't get Tequila Sunday, so okay. Okay, I think Promise Me Roses.
I have a hard time getting past. I mean, I think the 1 or the 4 has to win this race.
I don't, but okay. I actually think Why Is She So Lucky is not totally ridiculous in this race. She was off the rail in her last race. You actually wanted to be on the rail that day, and she was running against horses that are in a world better. Are you so sure if Why Is She So Lucky? I know she's coming back in a week. Are you so sure she doesn't run her last race? She can't get a piece of this?
She's coming back in a week. She had to go down to Monmouth to win her second level condition.
I don't love her, but
race.
She's a price.
Yeah, like I said.
You think Tequila Sunday will be 3 times the price Promise Me Roses? I'd like to bet on that. No.
I'm not
about 50%
I don't know how
higher.
they're going to bet this. I don't know how they're going to bet this. How they're going to bet the race. I think the 1 or the 4 have to win this race, and I don't really like the 4.
Good news is he'll be in that limo with Betty White. race number 4.
Why is Betty White being
I don't
picked
know. I
on?
just, I like
Where
that.
does that come
Picking
from?
on Betty
She's
White. I
not
love
even
Betty
my
White.
favorite Golden Girl, bro.
Golden Girl, I think of her as Sue Ann.
I know what you think of her
Sue Ann.
as. 'Cause
Sue
you
Ann-
haven't watched TV in 40
on,
years.
is it Sue Ann?
I don't remember.
On Mary Tyler Moore. She's like the greatest television roles in history. Betty White and Mary Tyler Moore.
I'm not saying she wasn't. You don't think, and Rose Nyland wasn't? From,
I never watched Golden Girls.
that's a terrible job by
It's
you.
too adult a show for me. Race number
makes
4, we are
sense.
off the turf. The mile and a 16th turf races go to a flat mile here at Aqueduct. We don't at Saratoga because we don't run mile races at Saratoga. The dirt haven't in about 30 years.
Remember we had that shoot?
Yeah, I
Remember that shoot?
Well, the inside post dominated the
That
first
was
like 8 of them.
92 when I was up there with my dad.
92?
My dad with Pazua, yeah.
I thought it was late 80s, but you're probably right. All right, off the turf at race number 4. Can't wait to see what you did here.
We did the
You
same
picked
thing.
the favorite. Okay.
Yeah, what are we going to do?
At least you got this one right. Listen, I want you to get one of them right. Take a look at Later Cat actually in the
guy
debut.
don't
This
stop,
is Later
man.
Cat's first race. Oh, Anthony likes Later Cat because the best race was on a sloppy slow
No,
track,
I like
which bears no resemblance whatsoever to today's track.
I
at
like
Aqueduct.
Later Cat because the last race was too bad to
First ran
believe.
very well opening first race, by
Yeah.
the way, getting left and making that huge.
This is a long
premature
time
move.
ago. I want a track that's completely different than the one today. And
What's
you
the
know, not
excuse
all
last
tracks
time?
are the same, Andy.
What's the excuse last time? You
I
think
don't
they
know.
are.
What I'm saying
You
to
think
you is
they are.
I don't know. I'm saying this horse ran too poorly last time to run.
Leave this up for a while.
I mean, look at the stat.
Leave the stat. Forget about the stat. Well, I want to know why you like the horse because you didn't look at the stats. So.
I just think this horse ran too poorly last time and catches a bunch of horses that if he doesn't beat this bunch of horses.
Well, if he runs his last race, he's not beating.
No, but I
How
have
about
to
this?
believe
How about this
there's a
stat for
problem.
Linda? Off the claim, stretching out Dirt Maiden. She's 8 for 11. 8 for 11. 8 for 11. I mean, granted, they were $6 horses, but 8 for 11. That's unbelievable.
And the stretch out, she's good at the stretch out. And this horse is.
You watch this Andy Murphy?
These horses.
The guy
this is
clapping.
sensational.
The guy clapping behind the
These
desk.
horses
This is tremendous.
that she stretches out. You know, especially when you get to these bottom level maidens and an off the turf race to boot. When these horses stretch out, sometimes it's easier on them because the sprints just unfold too quickly. And now this horse, who's proven to be a pretty slow horse, if he runs his last race, he's going to be last again.
So you don't have awesome adversary in your top 4?
I can't have these horses that are 0 for 20. I just don't want
this
them.
horse is dirt. This horse is 0 for 10 in the dirt with 2 seconds.
And why is he only went on the dirt once in 7 months in an off the turf race?
What's the difference?
There's a big difference. His turf numbers are better than his
What's
dirt
the
numbers. He's a turf
difference?
horse.
No, he's not. He is a
don't
little
like
bit better on turf than he is on dirt. He's way one of the major players behind the favorite in
You
this
want
race.
2 to 1? I'll give you him. You give me Champagne Chills.
Sure, yeah, gladly. Champagne Chills, okay.
It's a big A pen, by the way.
2 to 1.
You can keep that when it's over.
Thank you. 2 over 16. Champagne Chills. Champagne Chills is a good form. I'm trying to decide which race I like him better on. His last race or the 1-2 back? Oh, you think his muddy sealed track
No,
race
I
Saratoga
don't.
helps him?
I don't.
How was his performance last time?
He was a fresh gelding under the gun from the rail, and now he draws outside
He
and
wasn't under
stretches
the gun
out.
from the rail. He was stalking, and he just backed up and was hideous last time. Hideous.
I think he's going to be in a lot better shape drawn outside and stretching.
Okay, I love the 2 to 1 and the 2 versus the 16. I don't like Painter's Prize, who's not really a turf horse, but I guess Painter's Prize is probably better in the dirt than your horse.
I put
the
him
16.
4th. I don't even know what to do. I mean, what do you do with him? What do you do with implied volatility?
I know what I did with him.
You
He
tossed
went
him.
right out the door. Why would I want him? He ran poorly in his first start, and now he's going on the wrong surface, stretching out for new connections. Passiana.
You know, I don't like taking the Chad Brown horses, the horses trained from Chad, but
Okay.
I mean, against these horses, he's run once.
If Anthony isn't in his limo after the break, we'll be discussing.
Here we go with this
the
guy. You're
mandatory-
obsessed with this limo. Do you
I
want
am.
to come with me?
I'm jealous. Nobody sends limos for me. You know what? I got a big limo.
Can I tell you?
The A-train.
Can I tell you what your problem?
The
Can I tell you what the
A-train.
problem is?
You got to tell me my problem. I got so many problems, dude.
You're only a television superstar. I'm a multimedia superstar.
That's a good.
That's what it is.
You make a great point. On that note, mandatory payout in the Empire 6 after a quick break.
No sport in the world brings the wins home like racing. It's one-of-a-kind, high-speed, high-stakes action, and nairabets takes you there. Place your bets and watch the races live from anywhere. With nairabets, make easy, secure deposits and promotions every day to earn reward points or cash. Download the nairabets app or visit nairabets.com. New members earn up to a $200 deposit match and $25 risk-free Breeders' Cup bet with promo code BC19.
We want to thank you for waiting so patiently when we canceled on Sunday. The giveaway, the mandatory payout, the carryover in the 6, these are the days you want to play this bet. Mandatory payout, almost $280,000 in the Empire 6. And I love the way we started out. We started out by picking a horse that Anthony didn't like against a weak field last time, and now you like her against a decent field in Making Out.
She proved me wrong last time. I'm gonna tell you.
That she did.
I'm a you know.
So now you're taking.
I know when I've been licked.
You've got Cartwheel third here.
I do.
Let's take a look at the horse that's actually the horse to beat in this race. That's tough to go against from your first and second.
You have a second.
It's tough to go against your first, second pick. She's the horse to beat. Oh, look, she likes a sloppy seal track. How'd you miss this one? She's just been running against better horses in the Rodzikowski race and Out of Orbit, going 1 1/8 up at Saratoga. It was too far for her. I just think she's super logical in the way the horse to beat.
Now, we both like Newport Breeze today, who was scratched
She's
out
not
of here.
running, so that's
She's
really
not
important.
running.
Oh, so you had her fourth, Cartwheel.
I had her fourth. I don't really like this horse today.
Because she's too logical for you?
I mean, we're going to go back to that Theodosia race where she's just getting to the front on a wet track and keeps on going.
That was a terrible field. I agree.
It was an awful race. The other races in Saratoga off the turf, she beat
Or
Lovely
last race will win this race.
See, you and I look at those races where they come up with those big figs and can beat 11, 10 lengths.
Well, she'd work in that race. She was chasing the fast pace with Rodzikowski. It's not as though, like the horse that you actually have second in here, that did no work at all. She was stalking behind a pace, and she still couldn't get by Cartwheel, who was dueling with Rodzikowski. How's she going to beat her today for a barn that is about as cold as it is in the Antarctic in the winter?
Yeah, well, don't you think Puffery is going to put some pressure on Cartwheel today?
No. No, I don't.
You don't?
No, I don't.
Okay. I do.
Okay. Anthony won't be here to see Puffery not putting
I'll
pressure
be
on
with Betty
Cartwheel.
White and a half a can of Coke. By the time this race comes around, the Coke will be empty.
Pepsi.
Oh, Pepsi, I'm sorry.
Okay, no Coke.
The choice of the new generation.
Okay, I'm not a fan of Making Out in this spot. I think she found the right spot and got a very good ride and trip to get it done last time. Thought she was in a tough spot. I do think Puffery's a little bit interesting. Interesting, Rudy had not scratched her on Sunday. He was planning on running her Sunday, or maybe he just realized probably weren't going to run anyway. I'm going to take a small shot with Beyond Discreet in here. The Rick Schosberg barn has been pretty live over the last 6 months. We've seen the horses improving. And if you look at her, he claimed her 2 back. Sort of an odd claim in general. Okay, she did not run well last time. I just felt like she was run off her feet in that race last time out. And maybe now, giving her one more start for Rick in a race that I don't think is the same kind of deal where you've got a very impressive winner, I thought she had a chance. I originally picked the race 2-4-3. I didn't want to have Cartwheel on top because I agree with you. I have some reservations about her too. I think she's way the horse to beat, but I don't think she has to win this race at a short price. And I don't really like Making Out. I didn't really like anybody else in this race. So I took a shot that, to be honest, we could take a step forward for Rick. Really, nothing more than that.
Listen, I also like the fact that Making Out, I know her number from that big win in August last year, she did not equal that number, but I thought she was a little bit better on the stretch out, and I think she's going to continue to improve stretching out.
She better, because this is not how about the nail and nasty affair.
She has to. I'm not saying she doesn't, but I'm just saying I think she's found, if I don't like Cartwheel, the rest of them can, the rest of them are kind of interchangeable in here.
In race number 6, which came off the turf, our friend Tom Bush left in choochooboo and scratched Adorable Maya. Okay. Okay. I'm a little confused, but maybe choo-choo-deboo. You're looking forward to calling choo-choo-deboo? Anthony will be back calling on some select days here at Aqueduct. It's going to be exciting. Johnny I, the voice of the Big A.
My pick should be the same as Andy's.
Nice story.
By the way, it should be 15-4-5-8. Yep. Should be exactly
by the way,
the same.
Nice story by Bob E.
Fantastic. I retweeted it out the other day.
John Imbrial tweeted that as well. Take a look at that. Johnny's the best. It wouldn't be the Big A without John Imbrial.
I don't think I've ever met someone who all he wants to do is help you.
I agree.
That's very rare in
Yep.
in any business, especially in this business.
He is
and
egoless.
He is egoless. That's a great word. I don't. There's probably a technical term for it.
I mean, he has very little to be proud of, but
he is egoless. He just
he is.
all he wants to do is help the people around him. He's a great teammate.
No
That's what
question
he's a
about it.
Great
When I
teammate.
first started doing some
And
work here
mentor.
back in the '90s, did prattles with him and did some stuff with him, and I don't think I've ever worked. I know I've never worked with anybody that was more helpful than
Between
John
him and Frank Miramati, I could not have been in better hands getting to live my dream.
How do you think Johnny I feels about just being put in any category?
Johnny I loves Frank.
The great Frank Miramati.
Everybody loves Frank. Everybody loves Frank and everybody loves Johnny. It's hard not to.
We do love Frank. I'm going to miss doing talking. I didn't tell you something. Frank was more impressive on Talking Horses when he did his few appearances last year than he was calling the races. He had tremendous days picking when he did Talking
I don't
Horses.
know if I don't think he'd be happy with that.
I think he would. His performances on Talking Horses last year were legendarily
I think it was,
great.
I
He had
think hit me-
tremendous opinions.
I think he told me it was he was very
I mean,
he was very big on keeping score.
If his
he
opinions
feels like he beat you
in life were as
6-0.
good as they were the days that he was on Talking Horses, he wouldn't be Frank Miramati. Race number
on,
6,
man.
anyway, with the 15 Aubrey Tate. Get a little tired of her, aren't you? I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't pick her on top. I picked Adorable Maya. That's why I'm annoyed. Here is Aubrey Tate and losing to DeBoard. Isn't DeBoard? I mean, one of these two is probably going to win, right?
Yep.
I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, after that, you're just sort of guessing.
You and I both closed it out with Dream Chasing
Well,
and
Christophe leaves Dream Chasing in because he knows it won't be a sloppy sealed track like this race.
right, exactly
I mean,
right.
How does Aubrey Tate not get by DeBoard here? She gets by her here.
Yeah.
She was by, she was by, she was by, she wasn't.
And you know, there's no other word besides she hung on her.
She did hang.
I don't know. I don't know. I'm hoping that.
Where else
and
do you go in this race
You know what I'm
besides-
going to tell you? I'm going to tell you that Kendrick's aboard to try to get that hang out of her and to just blast off in here.
You want to know another reason that Kendrick's aboard? The other riders are in California
Yeah,
for the
no,
Breeders'
listen.
Cup.
Listen.
That's the real
Obviously,
reason
but
that
when
Kendrick's aboard.
but that
No
doesn't
disrespect.
mean. Okay, well, let me ask you a question.
Well, I just figured I'd give some
If Bruce-
reality in the
okay, no,
conversation.
I'm going to give you the reality of it. Bruce calls any other agent and says, I'm going to enter Aubrey Tate, main track only, against these horses. You're going to ride Aubrey Tate, or you're going to ride somebody else in here, other than this boards. You're going to ride Aubrey Tate.
Right. So what?
He's going for the best of who is here.
Well, why wouldn't he? What trainer
Because
wouldn't?
he fits this
what,
guy.
What
he
trainer
fits her
wouldn't
the
try to
best.
get the best rider he could
He
get?
fits her the best. I think
Jose Lozano's here. Does he have a mount? He
I
got
am
scratched.
pretty, you know, I'm not singling Kendrick out as the best, but the upper echelon of what is here. I think this horse, I think there is intent to get her in front to try to get that hang out of her today. Because she did it last time. I don't want to say she did it the time before, but there really wasn't much resistance the time before.
I would agree with you that Kendrick would be more aggressive. I don't really think that's played a major role. There is a 16 in this race, right? We got cut off there.
No, there's no 16. There's a 1A.
Oh, there's a 1A. You're right. Yeah. All
There's
right.
a 1A.
We move on.
It's messy, yeah.
Races that.
This form got really, these races, the form got really messy, renumbering the form and everything. Yeah, it's a disaster.
Anthony is making an Empire 6 ticket for people. My suggestion, tread lightly. Because Anthony claims, as we go on to race number 7, he told me that he's singling Canteen.
Yep.
Can we switch the replays and show Canteen's win first, Jose? And Anthony's going to tell us why, like, the third or fourth likely winner in this race is somehow the single in your...
She's the third or fourth, so I can get like 3 lunch bets in here?
guys, that's Wicked Whisper and the Frizette. But hey, by the way, that's Anthony's picking the Frizette in the Breeders' Cup Juvenile Fillies.
Yeah, you like, I do like her.
Wow, that was good.
This filly was was highly regarded last year
She was?
as a 2-year-old. Yeah, she was.
How'd she do?
She did not do well, but she came back from an 11-month layoff and she did just fine. And I like
Yeah,
the
she
way
beat Miss
she
You
finished.
Blues.
I
In a
don't-
slow race on a sloppy seal track.
I like the way she went
Muddy
the mile off of the year. I liked everything about this race. Now she's going to get a dry track today, and you can argue that maybe the wet track moved her up last time.
And she'll be scratched from it. I believe she's also in the sale at Keeneland in November.
Okay.
This next week.
On Tuesday?
Yeah, I thought I saw she was
Yeah.
in that. I could be wrong.
Okay. Well, she's got my Bronx tail to go to the front.
You think she's a single?
I'm singling Canteen today. And if I go down, I go down. I've never been a real fan of Smooth with a Kick.
What's the difference better than she is? We'll take a look at Smooth with a Kick in her last race where she lost to the 4-5 off topic, who would be 4-5 or less in this field as well. thought she ran fine in this race. Thought Off Topic got a slightly better trip, as it turned out, making that last move. And Off Topic's just better than these horses. Off Topic had been third in the CCA Oaks. I'm mystified as why you think Canteen is the far more likely winner. Is this? Did you ask Chad about this?
I didn't ask Chad about anything. Chad spoke to me for about 20 minutes on Red Brand Radio.
Why is you think
exclusively
to single Canteen?
Single. Yep, I know what I watched last time. Okay. And I know what they thought of it last year.
Tread lightly.
I'm good. I can't believe, I hope I get 3-1. I get 3-1, we'll be celebrating, well.
No, you won't.
Yeah, we still might be
No,
in
you
the
won't.
limo.
You'll be drowning your sorrows with Betty White,
Nope.
a half a can of Pepsi,
Nope.
and probably by then some Captain Jack or something.
I'm
I'm
a Jack Daniels guy.
Jack Daniels, okay.
Yeah.
You'll have a half a bottle of Jack Daniels. Betty White will have left with somebody else.
Betty White will get out of one of the rest stops on the Connecticut Turnpike. And
You're out of your mind.
Yeah, okay. Well, she's the single, and I hope she's 3-1. Because the nairabets account will be getting completely exploded in the back of the limo on the way up. Betty White or no Betty White.
Unlike Anthony, I'm actually trying to make money today. And I think Smooth Would Kick is way the horse to beat, would be an A in this race, as would the 6, My Bronx Tale. I don't think the Canteen is impossible in here. I won't be shocked if she wins.
So you're just hoping my Bronx Tale just gets in front of these, keeps going?
Well, I obviously expect her to be the speed.
Yeah.
If she doesn't fall down at the start, she will be in front. Whether or not that means she can win, I don't know. Michelle Nevin has pretty good numbers, sprinter out, stretching out. So that gave me some confidence this horse could do it. I like the situation. I think it's a good race to bet on her because, unlike you, I think Canteen will be way over betting here, and I agree she won't be 4-1. She'll be much less. I think Smooth With a Kick is supposed to be even money in this race. I think she's the horse to beat. And I don't know that my horse can beat her, My Bronx Tale, but I'll take a chance. I think she's the only one with a legitimate chance to beat Smooth With a Kick in this race.
Okay, we see it differently.
Yes, we do. There's also another Kelly Breen off the claim in here. This one is a little bit tough, though, the 4. Figure it out. Race number 8 was a fun race to handicap, both for turf and dirt, before today, because there's not a single dirt horse in the race. And what I basically did was put the number 10 horse on top, Temper's Way, because I thought she could wire the field. And I understand that her win on what was a fast off the turf race going back wasn't particularly fast from a speed figure standpoint, but I think there's a fair argument to be made that she has improved significantly from that race. That was just her second start for Jeremiah Englehart. And if you look at her last 3 races, they're significantly better than the turf races she was running. So as the controlling speed in this field, where, I mean, Love and Love's not much horse, Puppery's tough to take, Paved with Gold was hideous last time. Maybe she'll find a weaker field. I could only use Awesome Atlanta. We'll take a look at Awesome Atlanta. I think it was breaking her maiden for Chad Brown going back to November of last year, but this was a hungry, slow bunch. Not surprised I actually think that My Heart Belongs to Daddy was probably more likely than her, but I guess they figured after having her off a year. Well, it's not going to be a wet track.
Just the fact that it's on the dirt, yeah.
Being off a year, they don't want to run on the dirt in her first race back.
I agree.
Try to get her on the turf. But this was a struggle. I mean, this was a struggle down the stretch. I just thought Temper's Way could wire the field. I can't pick Paved with Gold in this race.
I went 5-4-10, I believe, in here.
They look like the 3 horses.
Yeah, and I'll use those 3.
I'm not sure that Love and Love isn't more likely to win than Paved with Gold.
I like the blinkers off with Paved with Gold. And I like the cut back to the 1 turn. I think that's going to help her as well. The cut back at distance, and obviously she was 1 turn last time. It's blinkers off.
Desperation.
It could be. It could be. Those last 2 races with blinkers were not good. The race on dirt without the blinkers gets her pocketed up right behind the 10
Well, that race will win this race, but
Yeah.
I don't think you can use the blinkers as an excuse for
Why
her
not?
pathetic. Because she was pathetic last time. I mean, horrendous. She was awful. You're talking about a horse that was $1.35 to 1 that packed it in at the 3/8 pole. And you're going to use great. You're going to blame the blinkers for that? Come on, man.
Todd's running her back quick too.
Yeah.
I think that's a good sign.
Why not? Yeah, it's a good sign. He doesn't care. He's just throwing her in these races.
Maybe.
She might win the race. I'm not saying she can't. We're back in the big A. It's
Going down.
The light's dimming.
Getting me ready for the back of the limo. I just beat you to it.
I didn't say
Beat you to it. Oh, you were going to say it.
I didn't say it.
You were going to say it.
But I didn't say it.
But you were going to.
Race number 9 is the Tempted.
This is a fun race, by the way.
By the way, the colt version of this race, the Nashua, on Sunday, came up a super, super, super interesting race. I would say it's more interesting than the Breeders' Cup Juvenile by a lot.
By the way,
And,
that's what I'll be doing in the back of the
well,
limo, the Sunday card.
that Sunday, you won't be doing it in the back limo. You'll be getting about halfway through
Well, part of it,
Sunday's
yeah.
card, don't have a Breeders' Cup hangover because you get an extra hour with the clocks going back on Sunday night, and the Sunday card here is sensational. We'll be back on the grass for sure by Sunday with good weather all weekend.
I had somebody
hopefully
ask-
tomorrow, but
I had
that
somebody-
card Sunday is tremendous.
I had somebody ask me why we didn't hold the carryover until Sunday. Well, you're not going to cancel the Empire 6
Why
Friday
not just
and
hold
Saturday.
till Christmas?
Yeah, you know what I mean? So,
No, you know why? Because there are rules.
yeah.
And, you got to give it away
It's like the Big
next day.
Lebowski. This is not Nam. There are rules here. Walter Sobchak, best.
It's a great movie. John Goodman's great in that.
Walter
Steve
Sobchak,
Buscemi.
yep. Fantastic. One of the best fictional characters of all time.
Did you ever see Trees Lounge with Steve Buscemi?
Years ago.
The movie he directed.
Sure.
That's a great movie.
Yeah.
That's a really
Good
under
movie.
the
I haven't seen
radar
it in a
great
while,
movie,
but
Trees
yes,
Lounge.
I did.
Tremendous people in that too. Chloe Sevigny's in that.
Yep.
That's a really good movie.
Good movie.
Yeah. All right, The Tempted.
What are we doing
Oh,
here?
you didn't pick Bill Mott?
I did.
Oh, you picked Shug. It was either Bill Mott or Shug. I mean, it's one of the others. I'm curious. David has them close in the line. I thought that maybe Median would be favored in here, but maybe not. We'll take a look at Median breaking her maiden last time. And the reason that I put her lower and you put her lower, I think, is that she ran well in this race, but she really got a tremendous
What a
setup
setup,
in here.
right?
They were moving up front, and the race was falling apart. She's a talented horse, but I think that she got a very good setup. Not to say the others didn't get good setups as well, because I think this one of the keys to this race is that they're all coming off of good trip wins.
Yes. Yes. You like both of these horses. You had a horse that are running 1-2. I think you may have put Water White on top.
Yes,
that day,
I did.
Right?
I had it
But
reversed.
you
I
had
made a big bet on
7-6.
Water
So, and you think she's going to win, and then Medicine keeps running after her, right? Because she made the
last
first
to first,
move.
last to
Yeah,
first.
and the last to first move.
Race to fall apart.
We need the 9th race picks. Thank you. It was a visually impressive move, but like you said, they line up 3 across the track. They go really quick too for 2-year-old fillies going the mile. She can come back and win. I thought this was a really tough race, and they said I think save the 2 Ankle Monitor. I think any of these horses, even the bottom horse,
Okay,
has a
we'll discuss
sneaky
Ankle
smell.
Monitor.
Yeah.
I think Ankle Monitor actually has a chance in this race.
Okay, then they can all win. They can all win.
Race won by a goofy-looking horse last year, Oxy Lady. It was a huge price.
remember that?
I think we will talk about Ankle Monitor shortly.
Okay.
All right, Power Move. Power Move's a funny horse. And I wanted to show the first part of Power Move's debut because she's not some sort of total plotter that just sucked up in a race that was falling apart. She actually has speed.
Yeah.
Believe it or not, the first 100 yards or so of this race, she's actually in front. And I think these are the kind of things why it's important to watch races and see the difference. This is a horse that has some speed. Jose took her back because he realized it was getting hot and heavy up front. This is a very good ride by Jose. And these are the kind of rides, the reason that Jose has been successful as he has been in 2019. He has had, and this has to be his best career year riding. He's been sensational this
Back
year.
with Jason
Things are
Bidas,
putting
yeah.
things back together. But he got down to the good rail before angling out at the 8th pole. And she did spend the majority of the race down the inside,
Yes.
which was probably the best place to be. It wasn't one of these super gold rail days, but she was visually impressive winning. It just wasn't that fast a race.
You have to be. At least I was very impressed with the fact
did
that
she pass the eye test?
No, yes, certainly. But she breaks out of there running. She shows speed, like you said. Jose realizes how hot it's getting up front, and in her debut from an inside draw. And yes, the rail was a good place to be, but she's still a young horse breaking from an inside draw. She listens to all the commands.
That was a very professional
She falls back for him. Then she rides the inside. And yes, again, the rail was good. But she's still a 2-year-old making her debut, passing horses along the inside. He's able to get her into the middle of the track when he has to get the real running done. And if you watch that again, he gets by that horse and he completely shuts her. He gets by and he just locks her down. Right. That's a very,
She could have run that much faster.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is, going 7/8, going a mile, she did all of that in 6 furlongs, which is very, very impressive because more often than not, you can get beat, you can break and get shuffled, and you're not going to win that race. She was athletic enough and has enough ability to overcome what happened going 3/4, stretching out. Man, she's just, I think she's going to be really tough.
You know, it's funny that this is, I mean, it's a long way to go, and obviously in no way am I comparing these fillies to the likes of Heavenly Prize and Inside Information and even Educated Risk and Dispute. But it's nice to see Shug with some good two-year-old fillies this year. Mrs. Danvers, unfortunately, on the shelf, but she'll be back next year. Alana, he skipped. I think we could see Alana, hopefully, in the Demoiselle.
That
would be great.
Turf filly
having
that
power
scrapped,
move.
the turf filly that
he didn't
canceled
re-enter.
Enola Gay.
He didn't re-enter Enola Gay in Sunday's race. They brought the race back Sunday. He didn't re-enter.
Oh, that's interesting.
Yeah, she's the only one besides Chad's horse who would scratch. She had a fever.
Right.
So she had scratched. But,
that's interesting.
Yeah, she didn't come back. I was surprised to see that, actually, and disappointed to see that as well.
Oh, you know what? That's right. I didn't even notice that.
That's right. Well, that's because one of us actually handicapped.
No, I looked at the entries last night.
Yeah, whatever, dude.
Wow. I didn't even notice that she
Anthony will be looking at it in the limo as long as Betty White isn't
Well, Betty feeds me
distracting
grapes.
him too much. Sweet Kisses is my top choice in the race. We'll show her when her maiden race. And, you know, she had a perfect trip as well. And I agree with Anthony. Power Move did have a very good trip in that race, but I do agree with you, Anthony. It's not easy to do what that horse did as a first-time starter. There's no question about it. But she'd have a lot of good things go for her, but she did. Whereas horses like Median, first of all, Median was her second start, and Sweet Kisses was her second start, and Sweet Kisses had a very soft outside stalking trip. I just think with Sweet Kisses, the junior's supposed to put her in the front. I'd go to the lead with her.
I can't imagine
Jeremiah.
I can't imagine that anyone else is on the lead in here. Can you?
No, she's supposed to be in front.
Right.
And I'll take a chance with her
I
wire
mean,
in the field.
unless Bravo's really aggressive with Vast from the inside, but this filly's faster than Vast.
Yeah, I think she is too.
Yeah.
But Vast is okay.
Sure.
I don't discount Vast. I think Vast can win this race. I've got her fourth, but I mean, what's wrong with her? She's a little bit slow. The problem with what's wrong with her? She's slow. She's slower than her. And when you've got three horses, the 3, 4, and 6, that all have run significantly faster figs, it's hard to believe that none of them are going to show up. And I think they all have to fail to show up for Vast to win this race.
But sometimes these fillies that...
I'm not saying that Vast can't win.
Yeah, you know, and sometimes you get a little... I think you can get fooled a little bit, especially by the ones that do want more ground. Obviously, they want more ground because they're not fast early on. And I think maybe she wants the more ground and she's just winning these sprints on her class. I think she's very dangerous in here because if we're right and Sweet Kisses goes...
she's beating weak horses.
She is, but if Sweet Kisses goes, she's going to be pocketed right,
Yeah, but she's not.
right off
but
her, right?
she's just ultimately probably not good enough.
Okay.
I'll be honest. I considered putting Ankle Monitor higher in this race. You know, you say she can't win. The problem is you're looking at her and you're looking at her weaking her maiden in a maiden 16 and running 3 awful races in her first 3 races. And I agree. What about her last race? What if her last race was off a maiden win where she ran a 62 figure and then she ran that 80 last time? Are you really telling me? What was the aberration about last time? She was almost 20 to 1, so it's not like anybody in the race thought she had a chance. She was way over her head. I mean, she absolutely destroyed that field at Parks. Well, are you so sure the light did just go off for Ankle Monitor?
I'm not so sure.
And her connections they're not morons, you know? Claudio Gonzalez is no dope.
I'm not so sure.
And he's bringing this horse up to run a stake, and I think he's saying the same thing, which is, I don't know where that race came from, or maybe she's obviously trained better, I'm sure he does. And he says, you know what? I need to take a shot against the big girls with her at this point. Her race last time was good. I mean, she's going to be a huge price in here, and she's coming in off the second fastest buyer. And there's nothing about her last race that didn't seem legitimate to me. The only thing is, it's just so aberrational to her other races.
Where did it come from?
But you can't disregard that it happened.
You
To
can't.
just dismiss a horse that's going to be 10 to 15 to 1 and say, oh, I don't know where his last race came from, so I'm throwing it out. I'm going to tell you something, Anthony. This is the kind of horse that could blow up this Empire 6.
She could?
Because I'll tell you right now, I think she's a more likely winner than Vast. Because Vast needs all 3 of those horses not to show up. There's a chance, if Ankle Monitor's last race is true at face value, she's almost the horse to beat in this race. That's all I'm saying. I'm not in love with her. All I'm saying is don't be so quick to just throw her out because her race was cheaper. I understand C's overtime, trying the dirt for the first time. She does have more, well, I don't know. The dam was okay in the dirt. You know, there's no dirt in the there's no dirt in her production. I don't know. Who knows? Cassie's are taking a shot.
Ran her a mile first time.
Taking a shot to see if the horse can handle the dirt.
Yeah.
Why not do it when it matters?
She went a 1-turn mile on the turf.
Race number 10. Dahl is back. We'll take a look at Dahl's last dirt race. I don't know why they went to the turf with this horse. She lost to one of the greatest horses in training, Bank Examiner, when she broke me.
Guy does not want to stop.
You throw me a bone, and I will bite on that bone forever.
Oh, I know
I'm like
that.
a dog with a bone. Doll's been very unlucky. She really should have won both of her. I'm sorry. She shouldn't have won first time out, but she ran very well. She obviously wasn't beating Newly Minted, but she ran better.
Fine, two monsters.
She ran better than Bank Examiner both times. Bank Examiner just got better trips to pick her up in both races. The thing is, Doll's got other speed to deal with today, but there's no Bank Examiners or others to pick her up.
No.
Because she does have to deal with the horse we'll take a look at here, Queen of Everything. My problem with Queen of Everything is she's slower than Doll, and I bet Queen of Everything last time out. I don't know what was more annoying, making a nice bet on her, having her run a winning race, losing to the biggest, the winner of this race, by the way, was the biggest They Know horse.
My God.
If there was an Eclipse Award for They Knew, and
This is those was 15 to 1 morning line that went off like 8 to 5?
right, she had apparently been working incredibly well, and she just kept coming
Finger
and
Lakes
coming and
horse?
coming. Turf, I think. Turf, Bruce Levine, not Bruce Levine, Bruce had two in here, I forget, it was Turf horse. Chris Englehart? Chris Englehart, I think.
There was a Finger Lakes.
Yeah, I thought the horse ran a Turf. But
Maybe.
anyway, the worst than betting on us losing was that Tom Amos had made fun of me on the air for picking this horse before the race. So it was insult to injury.
Best of luck to Tom on Saturday, of course.
He'll need it.
She's
I
in
do
tough-
wish
She's
he
in
would.
tough.
She'll be the speed. Santa Gary Empress we're talking about, and I agree. We all root for Tom.
She's
Tom's a
tough.
good friend and a great guy.
Not often you're going to get 20 to 1 on the Kentucky Oaks winner, by the way.
The problem is that even as the controlling speed, first of all, she's got a horse like Paradise Woods that aren't going to be far off
On
of
the
her.
rail, too.
And even if she runs her Kentucky Oaks, she's getting nothing in here.
Yeah.
She can't. She has to run better than
No,
that.
I'm just saying, the
No, I'm
recognition
rooting-
of the
I'm-
Oaks. You get 20 to 1 on the
yeah.
Oaks winner.
Yeah, well,
You don't see that often.
Price was Lemons Forever. Did she run in the Breeders' Cup? She probably was 20 to 1. But I agree. I wish Tom the best of luck, as do we all. I think Queen of Everything can win. I mean, I didn't have anything clever. Well, you went goofy second and third. What are you looking at here? Are you drinking during this?
Why do I always get am I an alcoholic all of a sudden? I mean, where did this come from?
Well, you must be to pick the 9 and 10 second or third in
You
this
don't think the
race.
source ran well last time?
No. No, I don't.
You don't think off 7 months,
think she was just
she
picking up
ran the
pieces for
best race of
second.
her life by 8 lengths. You don't think she ran well last time? Okay.
No, I don't think she ran well enough to be a player in this race. What's wrong with J.J. Jen? Is Happy Music a little bit interesting here?
You want
Turf to
JJ?
two?
You want to give me? You want to give me 2 to 1?
No. No.
Want to give me 3 to 2?
No. No. You know what? We have some bets today. You're going to lose enough lunches. If we get over 50 before Christmas, I'm not going to amnesty you any lunches. So be careful. I don't think you want to make any more bets, don't you think? Have a wonderful time. Anthony will be in Mohegan Sun this
Me
weekend.
and Betty.
You like it more than I do. Anyhow.
This guy's unbelievable. Come on, hey, listen, if you're not coming to Aqueduct, come to Mohegan Sun.
But
You
if
play
you're
on
not going to
Nairabets. You can
Mohegan
play on
Sun,
Nairabets
you
there.
better be at Aqueduct.
Yes, no question
I went to
about it.
Mohegan One Sun once. You know what is weird? No, I think I went to Foxwoods. They have windows at Foxwoods. I'd never been in a casino with windows before.
Yeah, no windows.
I went with my friend Wayne when he used to be fun. It's not
Whoa,
fun
Wayne.
anymore. He moved-
Guy buried Wayne.
He moved to New Jersey.
Sorry, Wayne.
He lived,
Oh,
he lived
yeah,
up the street from
that's-
me on the West End Avenue, and he moved to New Jersey. He's no
no
fun
bueno.
anymore. He would admit he's no fun anymore. He wouldn't have a. He
Here
wouldn't
it
argue
is.
that. 279,432 is the magic number. That's the carryover in the jackpot that we're giving away today. This is the day to play the Empire 6, the mandatory payout days. Over anything under 1.4 million means you'll have positive equity after takeout. Got to get involved. Best bets in racing. Play them all through nairabets. We got this deposit match. Head to nairabets.com to figure that one out. Use promo code BC19. It involves a $25 risk-free bet if you sign up on either the Breeders' Cup Classic or the Breeders' Cup Juvenile. Play all the Breeders' Cup races here. If you play them through nairabets today, the early pick 4, which I believe is races 2 through 5, which Anthony will make a ticket for. He won't, fortunately, be singly canteen on this ticket. That's this Friday here at the Breeders' Cup, 4 million point hit and split.
There'll be one tomorrow, too,
Also,
for the same.
yeah, and Canteen won't be in that one, thankfully for
No.
you either. 10% winners bonus on all trifectas in the sprint races on turf and dirt in the Breeders' Cup races today and tomorrow. It's November 1st and 2nd, in case you didn't know. Otherwise known as today and tomorrow. Advanced wagering, too, on the Saturday races.
Big.
You might want to bet before you lose all your money in Canteen.
Oh, man.
Just trying to help. A lot of purple.
Lots of parrots at the Breeders' Cup. I did all my
And
work
of course,
in purple.
did those handicapping videos for all 14 Breeders' Cup races. They are available on that potent NYRA YouTube page. Become a member, follow us on YouTube, and watch all the handicapping videos for Breeders' Cup. Anthony, as usual, thank you. I'll miss
You
you
watch it
tomorrow.
from here? Saturday, tomorrow, and today
Yeah,
and tomorrow?
you know, I'm not sure I'm going to end up staying. So the last race is 8:45. I
8:44,
might
yeah.
go miss a race or two and take the train home and watch Bricks and Mortar at home.
It's the over-under on me crying if Bricks and Mortar wins.
Antonio's back. We're done.
That means we leave.
He'll be back on Sunday. See you later.